Hey everybody, it's Lisa Goldberg here, coming to you live from Facebook with our last day of the Change Your Mind to Change Your Body Challenge. I see some of you have already been rewatching the videos, you've been liking the videos, you've been able to catch up from day 1 through day 5 or 6, which is awesome. Hey, tell me who's here. Thanks for the like. I'm glad to see you're all here, or you're just first starting to come on board. And so I truly hope that this has been a good awakening experience for you, is what I'm going to say. For you to kind of really start to pay attention to what your habits and behaviors are. Because just to back up a little bit, again, I'm Lisa Goldberg. I'm a nutritionist. I'm a clinical nutritionist. I have a master's degree from NYU in clinical nutrition. I'm a certified nutrition specialist. I'm licensed by the state of New York, and I've been doing this for over 16 years. Yep, over 16 years. And so what I've discovered in all the time that I've been doing coaching with clients in helping them lose weight is that their struggle with weight is usually never about the food. It's about something deeper. And it's the relationship with themselves. It's the relationship with the food. It's their relationship with their limiting beliefs that they have around food and eating. And that's what keeps people stuck and forever going on and off diets. Great. Thanks for the like. Hey, Debbie. Hey, Carol. Glad you can be here today. Thanks for spending your Sunday with me. I know that it's a weekend. It's the middle of the afternoon, and you guys could be doing so many other things. Hey, Louise. But I love the fact that you're joining me, and I love the fact that you're here, and I love the fact that thanks for the likes. I love the fact that you've spent this week with me, because what that tells me is that you really care. Hey, Debbie, that you really care about changing this, that you really care about ending the struggle and the pain that your relationship with food costs or being overweight cost you. And so, and I said this several times during the course of the week, it's changeable. You just have to be willing to commit. Hey, Cheryl, you just have to be willing to commit to yourself, to do the work, to get the lasting results that you want. Because if you've been going through the challenge over the last 7 days, or if you've listened to the videos and been reading the comments in the group, hey everybody, I'm so glad you're here. If you've been reading the comments in the group, then that tells me that you want to learn more, that you want to know how to do it, that you want to change your old patterns and conditioning, and really important, changing your brain. Because that's what this is, changing your brain and how you think about food and eating, and giving yourself ways of being in your power and taking the power back from food. Robin Roberts, if you're here and you're watching, I saw you just posted to the group a few minutes ago about the saying, it's just food. It's just food. And taking the power back. And it is so true. And it's putting the power back on yourself. Hey, Robin, I was just talking about you. It's about putting the power back on yourself and taking it away from the food. Because here's what I know. When you give the power to food to change all of the stuff in your life that doesn't feel good, all that food is going to do is make you feel bad and make you gain weight. When you're eating that food, when it has nothing to do with hunger, all that food is extra calories in your body, and it doesn't fix the situation, it doesn't change how you feel, it doesn't change anything in your life that's going to happen. It's just food. And 99.9%, when you're eating that food because of how you're feeling, it's not even a good choice. It's not even food that's going to be nutritious and is going to add fuel to your body. So day 7 is, thank you for the like, love those likes and hearts. Day 7 is about lasting change, making it sustainable. And so that's the hard part for so many people. So you've been on a bunch of diets. I had a conversation with somebody today, Diane, if you're watching, when we had the conversation about thinking about going on a diet and restricting and not being able to eat carbs or rice or bread or anything, and your brain wants to say, oh, I don't want to give that up. And then, you know, your self-talk on your brain, even though you don't really pay attention to what that old voice is saying, don't tell me what to do. Whether that's yourself saying don't tell you what to do or the diet plan. I've worked with clients where that voice in their head is their mother saying, you shouldn't eat that. You're not supposed to eat that. And that voice in the head, even though that's no longer true, that's no longer the story, your mom's not telling you what you shouldn't eat or shouldn't eat anymore. But that old voice resonates with you. It's the pattern, it's the behavior, it's your conditioning. And that voice is saying, you're not supposed to. You shouldn't. And then your resistance, your rebellious child inside says, don't tell me what to do. And I'm going to do it anyway. And I want it. And in that moment, that's your loop. And so you eat to try to make yourself feel better. And so how do you make it last? And if you've watched the videos, I'm going to take you back through the steps. It's about finding a nutrition plan, finding what works for you in your life. If there's foods that you don't want to give up, do not give them up. Think about 90-10 or 80-20. As long as you eat well most of the time, you can eat a little crappy some of the time, and it's not going to affect your weight. It's not going to prevent you from losing weight, and it's not going to make you gain weight. I was actually just telling the story this afternoon of a client that I worked with. He and I worked together for 9 months. He lost over 30 pounds. And when people in his office started to say to him, well, what have you been doing? I guess he didn't want to say he's been working with somebody. He's been having somebody coach him on changing his habits and behaviors. But because he wasn't on a particular diet, he didn't give up bread, he didn't give up sweets, he didn't stop drinking wine, he couldn't tell them what he's been doing because he didn't give anything up. So he couldn't say what kind of a diet that he's been on to help him lose the 30 pounds. So that's what I want you to hear. That's what the work is. Nourish, nutrition, eating in the life that you live. Learning how to eat the foods that you like, but how much and how often. And the behaviors that go with that. Creating an awareness of your habits and behaviors. Once you are, and so many of you shared with me what your brain is saying. Sometimes you don't even know that you're having a conversation with yourself, but as you start to talk about it, or as you started to think about it, you've discovered you're having a conversation with yourself on what your self-talk is and what your habits and behaviors are. You know, whether you stick your hand in your coworker's candy jar when you're walking by the desk and you don't even pay attention to how many times that happens, or whether you're in the kitchen and you're seeing you've got maybe some berries or cherry tomatoes on the counter and you're just popping that stuff in your mouth thinking it's just only, those are the habits and behaviors that you need to really become aware of. What do you say to yourself? What are your triggers? Some of you realize that actually what some of your triggers, it's actually a sensation in your body, and becoming really aware of what that sensation is for you. What is the time of day? Sometimes it's the time of day. So what are your triggers? All right, changing the messaging. And most important, as you start to implement these steps, as you start to set goals for yourself, thanks for the love, as you start to set these goals for yourself and put these into play, you have to practice it. And so some of you might be thinking, easier said than done, because you've been working on doing this your whole entire life. Or you've been thinking about doing it, or you know what to do. I said this a million times. I've surveyed my list. Over 50% of the people on my list said, I know what to do, I just can't do it. So tell me what it is. I've got you guys here. You're here for a reason. Share with me, ask me questions. What do you struggle with? In this week, if you've taken the challenge, if you've written this stuff down, if you tried to implement some of the steps, Let me help you. Share with me what you struggle with me or what you discovered. Okay, so as you start to answer your questions, I'll be happy to answer them for you. But I've been journaling the triggers. Great. So Debbie, have you discovered any new triggers? Have you discovered triggers either that you're aware of or things that you haven't been aware of? Has that been helpful? Have you had any aha moments that you've been like, oh, I didn't even notice that this was a trigger for me? And most important, once you're triggered, what do you then do? Have you created a plan B for that trigger? So, Robin Roberts, what have you discovered? And so, some of you who are here, you're already participating in my next online weight loss group, my online group coaching that's starting next month in April. And so some of you are here and you're starting, this challenge has helped you kind of get the ball rolling a little bit early. So Cindy, you've discovered eating too fast, especially when hungry. Well, here's the thing. The trick is when you're learning how to eat in the life that you live, don't let yourself get too hungry. So I tell my clients or anybody that I'm working with, if you have a dinner and the dinner's not till 8 o'clock, well then you need to have a snack somewhere between 5 and 6 to take the edge off so you don't go to the table so hungry. You never want to be too hungry because hunger is a feeling that doesn't feel good, and nothing good happens when we're hungry. We eat too fast, we overeat, and we usually order the wrong thing. So Robin, I have a hard time knowing when I am saying what I am saying to myself when I want to eat when I am not hungry. All right, this is going to be the work. When we start working together next month, this is going to be one of the things I want you to focus on. Pay attention to what you're telling yourself. It's in there. You have to listen. All right? So really focus. If you find yourself in the kitchen, try to remember what just got you in there. All right? Write it down. Keep a thought journal. And Debbie just said, so Robin, if you're watching the thread, journaling seems to do it for me. The trigger is the sensation. Then I tap in what that sensation is that is making me want to eat. It's usually some emotion. Excellent, Debbie. So Robin, start to journal your thoughts and your feelings. I am trying. So it's a process. So as long as you're trying, it's a step in the right direction. But make sure you have a notebook because you're going to start to see a theme. All right? We'll work on this more because I know this is a problem for so many people. As we get into the group, we'll work on what do you say when you speak to yourself. What is your self-talk? The good stuff and the bad stuff, and helping you learn how to pay attention to it. I have not journaled. That may help. Here's the thing. I know for a fact most people find, and I'm going to be 100% honest because honesty is my policy if I'm working with you, I know journaling is a pain in the ass. I know it. Some people love it. Some people don't like to do it. But I promise you, the discoveries that you make when you start to journal. So I don't always journal daily, but I have the notes in my phone. And when I have a thought going through my head, I pull out the notes on my iPhone and I just write. And here's what I know. When I get it out of my head, I feel so much better. It becomes so much clearer to me what is going on. And then when I read it back, especially like over the next day or two, I look at it and I see it with different eyes. And so, hey Liz, glad to have you here today. Right, Debbie Peterson, I love it. Journaled for years, it's therapy. It is. Journaling is therapy. It helps you discover your inner you. It helps you decipher what that noise is in your head. It gets it out of your head and onto paper. And then when you start to read back, it's the same thing with food records. If you're working with me, I want you to keep food records because that tells you how much and how often in 7 days. So if somewhere within those 7 days you've had some wine or you've had some dessert with some friends or you've had a couple of cookies or some chocolate during the week and you highlight that and you see your 7 days, when your brain starts to be like, poor me, I'm deprived, If you go back through your food records, you're going to see that's not the truth. You're not deprived. On Tuesday you had some wine, on Thursday you had some chocolate, so on Saturday you're going to have to make the decision, what do I want more? Do I want this other thing that my brain keeps telling me I want it? Or do I want my health and do I want to lose weight? And that's the process of learning how to eat in the life that you live, being able to eat the foods that you still love without giving anything up, all right? Changing your self-talk. And so you see it's a process. And here's what I want you to hear, you guys. For those of you that are used to dieting and getting really quick results, this isn't about quick results. This is about slow and steady wins the race. This is about changing your habits, behaviors, mindset, self-talk, how you feed yourself, when you feed yourself, why you feed yourself. So you really get the tools to create change, but change that is sustainable. I mean, I had a conversation earlier with somebody, and Diana, if you've tuned in, about being on a restrictive diet. And all your brain wants is to eat those things that you're being told that you shouldn't eat. Now, if there's a reason, if you have, some kind of physical reason or religious reason that you shouldn't be eating these foods, well then of course you can't eat them. But wouldn't it be awesome to learn how to eat foods that you love and enjoy them without the guilt and shame and remorse, without overeating them and eating it because of an emotion, eating it because it's a choice? And here's what I'm going to tell you. So many of my clients will say to me, well, how do you know when you just feel like having it? Because I've said to them, sometimes I just feel like having dessert. And it's the truth. Sometimes I do. And if I do, then I do. But I see how I feel after dinner. I think about how full I am. I sometimes just feel like I want that something sweet. And if it's not an emotional decision and I decide I want it, I think it through in my brain. Sometimes people are ordering dessert and they'll look at me and they'll be like, do you want to share this? And I'll think about my belly, and if my belly's really full, I don't want the dessert because those next bites are just going to make me really uncomfortable. And having been down that road before, I prefer not to be stuffed because it doesn't make me feel good. So part of this is remembering what you've done. So part of the process is maybe overstuffing yourself, not beating yourself up, but then knowing the next time the situation arises to not overstuff yourself because you're going to feel better. It's a better choice for you because you know if you take those few extra bites, if you have dessert when you're full, if you clean your plate because you don't want to leave food over and then you get overstuffed, well then what's going to happen? You're going to be back in that uncomfortable situation. You're going to be beating yourself up. And why would you choose to do that again? So what I want you to hear is losing weight and keeping it off for good is a process. It's not standing on principle and not feeling that it's weak on your part to ask for help and get the support and the accountability that you need. Because, hey Tina, great to have you here today. Here's what I know. That so many times people want to lose weight and they've been down this road before. And they usually go on some kind of crazy diet where they're juicing, they're cleansing, they're detoxing, they're giving up certain food groups, and that only lasts so long. Or even if they try to make real sustainable changes, something happens in their life where their old brain will use it as an excuse when they get a little derailed to just give up. And so what so many people really need that they choose not to get is the accountability. Having somebody hold you accountable to staying in it when it's hard, because that's when you want to give up, because nobody likes something that feels hard. But that's the important part, staying in it when it feels hard. Because so many of my clients, when we start to work a few weeks in, 4, 5, 6 weeks, when they're trying to implement the changes that we speak about, they'll come in and they'll say, this is hard. And I'll be like, yeah, I know. Because if it wasn't hard, you would have lost the weight a long time ago and kept it off, or you would have started the process. You wouldn't be stuck. You would have just done it, and you would have been done with it by now. So if you've been struggling for 1, 2, 3, 10 years, your whole entire life, there's a reason. And it's because you can't get out of your old pattern, you can't get out of your own way, you can't get out of your limiting beliefs, and you want to go through these steps to create sustainable weight loss. So, questions. Who has a question? Who is struggling? Who has an obstacle? Kathy, you posted to the group about how do you slow it down. Drop your fork. Drop your fork. Take your hand off your fork. It's the only way you're going to slow it down. 9 times out of 10, people are eating. They're still chewing. You have your fork up to your mouth with that next bite of food, and you just are barely, through swallowing that, and you take another bite. And so no one's taking the food away until you tell them to. Drop your fork, put your hand on your glass, or maybe it's your body language. Hey, Jenny, great to have you here. Lean back from the table after you drop your fork. Doesn't mean you're done, but you're putting a separation in between your body and your plate. You're taking that minute for yourself, to give yourself a minute to pause. You're taking a pause. You're assessing, how much more food do I need to put in there? How hungry am I still? Or how full am I getting? Because here's what I know. It doesn't take a lot of food to fill us up. 9 times out of 10, we order an appetizer, we order dinner. After the appetizer, we're no longer hungry, but the entree comes and we eat it anyway because we ordered it and the food's there. Usually at that point, it has nothing to do with hunger if you had something to start with. So just slow it down. You'll end up eating less because it does that whole thing about it takes your brain about 20 minutes to register that you're full. It's the truth. Your belly and your brain are so connected. And so that's why when you start to pay attention to the mindset stuff and your self-talk, it's your brain giving you, it's your old brain, it's your old stuff giving you direction as to what you should do. And your actions follow your thoughts. So you have to retrain your thoughts. You have to rewire your brain. And I was just reading something this morning, again, about neuroplasticity of the brain, and your brain is changeable, but it will take practice. And so here's what I know. Losing weight and keeping it off is achievable. It may take you a long time, and I need you to be patient and kind to yourself in the process and not put too much high expectations on yourself to lose weight quickly. Not be disappointed with yourself if the weight doesn't come off fast. Not be disappointed with yourself if after 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 days the scale's not changing, or you have a bad day. You didn't mess up everything. You need to just get back on track. You didn't blow it. Life is too short to walk around not being happy with yourself, being unhealthy, feeling uncomfortable in your body that takes you through your whole entire life. Hey Diane, glad to have you here. I was talking about you a little earlier, but I'm glad you joined. And so what we were talking about was the 7 steps and going through the process, and how losing weight and keeping it off for good is achievable and it's sustainable, but it's about being kind and patient with yourself in the process and getting the help and support and accountability that you need, especially if you've been thinking about it for so long, if you've been wanting to do this for so long. Because my question to you is, what are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You're not getting any time back, and time just keeps going, and we don't get to take that time back. And year after year after year will go by, and if you stay in the struggle, and if you keep, have you read the book Switch? I haven't read it, but I know of the book Switch, and again, it's changing your brain. Thanks, Cheryl. Don't waste any more time. So who has a question that they want? Who has an obstacle? All right? Who has a question about one of the steps or something that you tell yourself? Ask away, because that's what this group, so what I really wanted today to be about is answering your questions, giving you the help that you need, all right? Encouraging you to not waste any more time waiting to take care of you, waiting to put yourself first, waiting to get healthy, waiting to create these changes, because you're just losing time. You could be starting right now, today, working towards a healthier, happier you on a lighter, healthier body. So Diane, what can you do in the moment to make a better choice? Excellent question. In the moment, first thing to ask yourself, am I hungry? So when you find yourself going towards the food, the first question is, am I hungry? If you're hungry, you want to feed that hunger with something that's nutritious, with something that's going to feed your hunger, some kind of protein-carbohydrate combination, which if you go back to video 1 or the email 1, I gave you a bunch of protein-carbohydrate combinations. So the question is, am I hungry? If the answer is yes, feed the hunger with either a meal or a snack, depending upon what time of day it is for you, with a good choice of protein and carbohydrate combination that's going to satisfy that hunger. If it's emotional, what can you do in the moment? If the answer is no, this isn't hunger, figure out what is going on for you in the moment. Is it stress? Were you just triggered? Are you saying, I came in from work and now I deserve a reward? Well, do you deserve to reward yourself with food? If you had a really long day, if you've been taking care of other people, if you've done a really great job at work, is food really the reward that you're seeking? Because in those moments, as I said earlier, the food will only make you gain weight if it's not hunger. It's just extra calories your body needs, and you using food as to take care of the symptoms of what you're feeling when that feeling isn't hunger. And so make a mindful choice. Ask yourself, is this the best choice that I can make for myself? And what's the benefit if I do? And what's the benefit if I don't? And so maybe what you really want is a hot shower, a cup of tea, going out for a walk. And I know, maybe walking might not be the easiest right now, but doing something, doing some meditating, doing some deep breathing. If you're feeling stressed, meditation and deep breathing really helps you relieve the symptoms of feeling stressed. I tell people, close your eyes, take a few deep breaths, real deep belly breaths, and envision the stress leaving your body. So give those things a try. And also, in the moment, pay attention to what you're telling yourself, because you can talk yourself into eating, and you have the power to talk yourself out of eating. So pay attention to what you're saying to yourself in those moments. So who else has a question that they want to ask about a place where you feel stuck when it comes to food, eating, or sustainable weight loss? Thank you. Love you too. Debbie, Robin, Diane, Tina, anybody else have a question? What do you struggle with? What have you gotten out of this challenge? Has it helped you? Give me some likes or show me some love for those of you that felt that you've got some great nuggets, great takeaways, that you felt like you're pointed at least in the right directions. Okay, Louise, I found that accountability to a coach, naturopath friend group, etc., does make a difference. Journaling that will be looked at by someone else does more than if only I know what I did. Using tapping, using tapping helps. Exactly. So that's why, great, you guys, thanks for the love. Being accountable is so, Great, Debbie. Thank you. I've answered your questions. Being accountable to somebody is so important. And so the reason why people have so much trouble losing weight and keeping it up on their own is they don't have somebody to be accountable to. They don't have somebody checking in on them. They don't have somebody making sure that they stay the course when it gets hard. Because I know, because I work with people all the time that just want to give up, they want to throw in the towel when this stuff starts to feel hard. When they have a bad day, when the scale's not moving, they want to say, what's the use? It doesn't work for me. What you're telling me isn't working. I get it. I get the frustration. I get the resistance. I get the procrastination. I get it all. But staying accountable to get you through that hard stuff, to get you from where you are to where you want to be, that's the support and that's the accountability. And so that's what most people need that they don't give themselves. Either they feel like they should be able to do it on their own. They have invested so much money already on a bunch of different things, books, gimmicks, short-term stuff. So, Robin, a lot of great information. I am grateful for you and the help you provide. Looking forward to the group. Yes, I'm looking forward to it too. And here's what I want to reiterate about accountability and support. If you need accountability and support, and you want to stay the course, and you want to get the tools and use them and practice and take it through the life that you live, email me at lisa@lisagoldbergnutrition.com and set up a call with me. I do have another group starting in April. A bunch of you here are already part of the group. Some of you were in my last group who are participating and are getting a refresher in the challenge. And here's what I know. Accountability and support, and in the group, everybody bonded and they loved having their accountability partner in addition to having the accountability from the coaches and having the accountability from their peers. Because what I know is all of you guys that are here, whether you're in this group, Change Your Mind to Change Your Body, whether you come into my coaching group, whether you're in one of my Facebook groups, the accountability and support from the people who are going through the same thing that you're going through, that need to get over the struggle and the challenges that you are, makes you stronger and gives you the support and the accountability. And when other people get coached, you get that coaching too. And here's what I know. We all don't take our own good advice. So even if you're in this group, Change Your Mind to Change Your Body, if you're giving advice, like, Cheryl just brought up about the book, or if you're coaching somebody, or if you're giving advice, you might not take your own good advice, but because you've been through this, you could give somebody else really great advice. And that's where peer support is a tremendous help. So, if you are ready to change your mind so you could change your body for good, if you are ready to get help and stop the struggle, call me. Set up a call with me. Get the help that you need, or even find out. Let me help you create a plan for you. I have a bunch of different programs, whether it's online group weight loss, or it's a VIP day, or if it's private coaching, whatever it is. Set up a call with me. Email me directly. As many of you know, I am taking a leap of faith myself. I am doing something that scares me. Tomorrow morning, I am off to California for a month. I am going to be in a place where I've never been before for a month. I am renting a car. I live in New York City. I haven't had a car since I graduated from college. I am living in a place where I don't know a whole lot of people, but it's something that I've been thinking about it. And like I told you, you could stay thinking about getting the help that you need and doing something different and getting out of your comfort zone. You could just pull the trigger and get out of your comfort zone and create the changes that you want, like I am doing. And tomorrow morning I leave for California, so that's why I'm saying to you, email me, because my calendar is set up for Eastern Standard Time, and now I'm going to be on Pacific Time for at least the next 4 weeks, and I want to talk to you. I want to help you. If I can help you in any way, even if it's just to get on the phone with me, whether you're interested in working with me or not, Lisa@lisagoldbergnutrition.com, email me and set up a call. But what I want to do right now is for those of you that are on the call, I want you to ask me any other questions. There's a bunch of you here, and we still, we still have some time, even though I'm got to finish packing. Shoot, go ahead, get it out there. Any questions? How can I help you today? How can I help support you today? Okay, so if there's no questions coming in, I hope this has been a really great week for you. The videos will stay live in the Facebook group. So here's what I'd say. Go back, start with day 1, listen to them again, take notes. For those of you that still get stuck in the self-talk, all right, grab a journal, grab a piece of paper, grab the notes on your iPhone. Pay attention to what you're telling yourself. It's so key, because if we're working together, I'm going to ask you, when this just happened, what were you thinking? While you were making that decision, while you were reaching for the cookies or the ice cream or the wine, all right, while you were in the middle of that, there was something that was running through your head. Chances are you're probably saying, I know I shouldn't do this, but I want it, but I don't care. So whatever that is for you, I want to know, and you need to know. So pay close attention. So Debbie, I am so glad that this has been great. You are so welcome, because here's the thing. This is what I do, and this is what I love, and nothing makes me happier than to help. And here's where I get teary-eyed. Nothing makes me happier than to help people fix this and solve this, because I am so passionate about it, and I know it's changeable. And that's what I want for you. This is usually the part where, if I'm working in the group with my coach, I let them take it away because I get all choked up. I mean it from the bottom of my heart. If you have any questions, shoot me an email and let me know. Anyway, you guys, thank you for being here. Thank you for taking this challenge with me. I hope it's been helpful. Give me a second. I love you being part of my community and my tribe. Stick around. I'm giving you a heads up for those of you that are here. I will be doing another webinar. I'm planning it right now. I'll be bringing it to you from sunny California. Post in the Facebook group. I'm gonna keep the page up. So if there's nothing that you could think about sharing right now in this moment, post it in the Facebook group, and I will definitely get your questions answered. And so email me, think about the group, think about getting the accountability and support you need, whether it's from me or somebody else. Don't say no to yourself. This is all about saying yes to you. So thanks for the love, you guys. I love you too. And however I can help you, reach out. All right? Have a great rest of your Sunday. And I will see you in the Facebook group, and I hope to hear from each and every one of you. Have a great day. Bye, Kathy. Thanks. I will enjoy California. I can't wait, and I'll be posting pictures on my Facebook page. So if we're not friends, friend me. All right? I'll see you guys soon.